Welcome into Shmokin Hot Takes. We're back with another preseason episode. This is not a dream. This is Kdawg. I'm back. And we're talking QBs today. So all your favorite quarterbacks, your Will Levises, Bryce Youngs, maybe an Aiden O'Connell. We got it all covered here in our top 15 quarterbacks.
Smokin'.
What's up, guys? This is our quarterback episode. This is Kdawg. Over to my left, I've got the Prophet.
Yo.
We got Koop.
Yo.
Keep. All right.
And C-Dubs is very much in our minds and our hearts today.
He was kidnapped by the local mafia for owing too much gambling debt.
Yes.
No, they owed him too much.
So he's out kidnapping them. Yeah, Kdawg's back.
Yeah, good to be back.
Kdawg, woof woof.
He came back for the important stuff.
Right.
That's right.
Where he can rank Dak Prescott number one
Ooh,
on his
We'll see.
top
sneak peek.
32 quarterbacks.
You know, I gotta say, I did appreciate Prophet J was a big Cowboy stan in my absence.
Oh,
You'll see more
I
today.
very
You'll see
much
more?
appreciate
dude,
that.
yeah. I thought you had transferred minds for a second or something.
I paid him a little.
I may have him the highest
Really?
this episode. We'll see. We'll
see.
see.
Yeah.
I think so.
Um,
I got him last.
Well, and thank God Dak Prescott's good because I don't know about you guys, watched a little bit of that Cowboys preseason game.
All right.
Trey Lance, Coop's guy,
Not the future.
not the future.
What do you say?
Well, let's
Kdawg?
not read too much into it.
Oh,
I mean,
coming to his defense there.
I'm interested to see how he plays this preseason because I think more likely than not, Dak is going to be back next year, but there is a world where he's not, and Trey Lance is the most. Trey Lance is the most logical next choice,
Cooper
right?
Rush?
So
Cooper Rush is ahead.
He just doesn't have it.
I feel
Cooper
like
Rush is ahead on the depth chart.
he
Doesn't have
is,
that it, though.
but I feel like he doesn't have that the ceiling that people think Trey Lance has. I don't know if I think Trey Lance has that ceiling, but we kind of know what Cooper Rush
He's
is,
a
right?
bust.
It's crazy how long we've been talking for Trey Lance at this point.
No, he ain't worth our breath.
He goes away, he comes back. I don't know.
I
You
could
know
be
who we
wrong.
should talk about?
Who is that?
Sam Darnold, starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings after J.J. McCarthy just blew out his knee.
No, come on. Torn meniscus.
I mean, who's surprised? Is it a torn meniscus? Did that come out and say that?
That's right.
Oh,
I mean, that's like
that's like
the
a
least.
he's gonna be like out 2 months.
Yeah, something like that. But that's it could have been much worse.
He could have.
I had,
But it was
torn
weird
meniscus.
because did he go down on?
I don't remember hearing anything. He just said
No.
he had some discomfort, and then
Yeah.
we looked into it, and we found the tear.
Yeah, I think he finished the game,
So-
but then just afterwards he.
So it was
He looked pretty
he was
good.
barking.
He looked pretty
Yeah.
good, so kind of stinks. But I don't think Darnold played at all, did he? So we haven't really
no,
seen
he
him.
definitely did.
He did?
I'm almost positive he did. I think
Honestly,
he led him to a touchdown.
I didn't watch enough preseason. I was
I
doing
didn't.
other things.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch it all. But
I will say
Watch highlights.
all of the rookie QBs actually looked pretty damn good.
Penix shout out, man.
Penix looked good.
Joe Milton.
Milton actually looked good. He had some crazy
Scampered, yeah.
burst. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy speed. The
It's
one
like
I was
Cam
actually
Newton out there.
pretty interested in, and I found to be pretty good or really good was Bo Nix. I actually thought he did really well.
Sure.
Caleb
Heard he looked
Williams.
really bad.
Bo Nix is playing against the fucking
Well,
people
it's
who are
it's,
never
pre-
gonna play.
it's preseason.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, but we're
wasn't
saying
he
about
third on
everybody.
a depth chart though? So he's playing in the third or fourth
No,
quarter.
I think so. Jarrett Stidham played, I think, one drive.
Do you really think Jarrett Stidham is going to start for the Broncos?
It went Stidham, Nix.
Because
and
you
then-
have him in your
No, it's not
rankings,
Jared
bro.
Stidham. It's Trevor Simeon. I put him there because
No, it's Stidham. It's not
Stidham.
Simeon.
Oh, is it really?
That's what
K-Dawg had
Okay, I was
Simeon in
listening
his
to the last
rankings.
episode. You guys got that in my brain. I knew it wasn't.
Well, 'cause I
you
said,
guys
oh,
said
Trevor
that last
Simeon,
episode.
and
Okay,
then-
whatever. I put him 32. It doesn't matter. I put him. I tried to take.
Yeah, I
who was-
changed him to Nix.
That's fair.
Oh,
I tried
you did?
to.
I thought that was
Well,
funny.
Well,
It's like we all had someone different for different teams. I think.
I was
so.
trying to say Trevor
Nobody knows.
Simeon needs to start in this league. He's 32.
No.
He's 32 years old.
No, he's 32 on my quarterback ranking.
I just couldn't believe. Well, because we found out. Well, I didn't.
He is
I already
actually
knew,
he is actually 32 years old.
Jared Goff is 29.
That's crazy.
And you would think someone like Trevor Siemian
Yeah.
was like 5 years younger than.
Do we? How old is Trevor Siemian? Do
He's
we know?
32. I think.
Oh, he is 32.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just missed that joke entirely. Okay, lol. All right, yeah, but yeah. Anyways, rookies looked really good. I didn't watch any Jaden Daniels, but I heard he was fine too.
I heard he looked good too. Caleb Williams has some great plays.
Well, Jaden Daniels only played
I heard
threw the ball 3 times.
That's what
don't know.
I. So I heard. I was like, oh, Jaden Daniels, he had a big game. I looked at. He threw the ball twice. Like, is
And
it
he
3
ran-
times?
and he
It's 2
ran
for 3,
for-
and he ran for a touchdown.
Ran for 3 yards
Like,
and
who
a
really
tutty.
cares? You know?
That doesn't really. Yeah, it
Who
doesn't
cares?
really.
Even you could do that, Kdawg.
Yeah,
He
I
could.
know.
Kdawg could. I could. Maybe not Koop.
Probably
Not
not.
Caleb.
Probably not me.
No, not kidding.
No, I only catch touchdowns, baby. Right.
Yeah. And the other news: Gibbs got a hamstring
dude,
injury,
Gibbs.
so that's a bummer.
Your guy Gibbs.
I was
Why is he
actually.
my guy?
You wouldn't trade him to me for Tank Dell.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy looking back.
Kinda
Like that
good.
would have been such a good like.
That,
If-
you would have won that trade.
Well, if
That'd be
nothing
good
had
for
happened to
you.
them. If nothing had happened to them.
Right.
That would have been even. I would
I have
say.
no regrets.
Like when I sent it to you, it was mostly a name. You know, because obviously he's been doing well, but
It was kind of earlier in the year
then
too.
like as time progressed, you know, Tank Dell actually looked
Yeah, but
really
then
good.
for like maybe 2 weeks after that, and then he got hurt.
And
I hear what you're
for those
saying,
2
though.
weeks,
I
I
hear what you're
felt
saying. Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
for
Gibbs,
keeping him.
Gibbs was a little better though.
Absolutely. But the hamstring thing sucks because you know I was looking.
That's
at
gonna
drafting
linger.
him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that lingers. You know when it happens in the preseason. You know Joe Burrow last year calf. We got Christian McCaffrey this year calf.
Sure.
Gibbs hamstring. Cup last year.
So does that like immediately drop Gibbs down your boards, fantasy
Yeah,
wise?
yeah. I mean, I was looking at trying to get him at a turn.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
at this point,
I agree.
you know, gotta stay away from him.
Yeah, that
Which
back half is
means-
going to be kind of nasty.
If they fall, that's kind of some insane value, you know. If you're able to get him maybe as your third running back or second running back,
It depends if you want to. It's a risk.
You just got to survive until he's back.
Yeah, it's a risk. Before we jump in to our top 15 quarterback rankings, make sure to go drop down.
Drop down, give me 50.
Give me 50 hits on that follow button on Spotify, and the 5-star
I think
rating.
you
Go
follow
make
and then you unfollow. And
But
follow
50,
and
50 would
unfollow.
still be a follow though, right?
no, it'd
I
be
was
an
trying to think
unfollow
of-
because it'd be the even,
Yeah,
right?
maybe
So
51.
51. Give me 51.
Oh, you're right.
Do the last one for Kendrick, and then give us a 5-star rating. Make 51 separate accounts and give us 5-star ratings.
And then make 51 accounts and join that sleeper pick'em.
True.
How many do we have right now?
About
10, 12.
I thought it was like
Actually,
up to
maybe
25.
100.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
it was way more.
1,000.
So it's like,
There's the numbers have been steadily like
yeah.
exponentially
We've been in
increasing
contact
every
with
minute.
Sleeper. They're actually increasing their
Server
hardware
size.
over there. Yeah, their
Yeah.
servers over there.
They actually bought a whole new server for
Yeah,
us.
just for us.
They're not using Intel though,
Yeah.
because you know.
Once again, though, the prize is just pride.
Oh,
You know.
maybe there's a prize at the end.
The prize is prize with a D instead of a Z.
Oh.
Dicks.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So let me base the viewers in how we're looking at this. That didn't make
Okay.
any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with
All
you.
right.
Though.
Not at all, but please explain.
So
You get there.
myself, Koop, Kdawg, and C-Dubs, we listed our top 32 quarterbacks, and we're going to talk through our top 15 today. It's just an average of all of our rankings. That's all we're going to go through. It's just one name per rank.
Everyone is what Coop and I are blind to this. We
Coop-
don't know
Coop-
what's coming.
Coop knows.
I've seen
He's
here
seen
and there,
it.
but
Are
I
you
haven't
serious?
studied the.
I'm the-
Where have you seen it?
It's in the Google Drive.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm-
I've seen yours in C-Dubs.
That's fair.
But I barely looked over them, and I don't know what Proph's
But
cooking
he
up
could
with.
have. We have no idea. What
I'm the wild card in this.
Yeah, because
Which-
you saw how fair
Well, I
ours
didn't
were
do the
ranked, and then
math,
he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, I gotta rank, you know,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts at 20 just because Jared has him so high."
Yeah. This should be interesting.
I actually did, so I did my rankings earlier before I'd seen your guys's. So no bias in this.
Yeah.
All right. So our bottom ranked QB. Can you guys guess who that is?
Bo Nix.
At 15.
Wait,
No, at 30.
Oh, at
Or like
32.
at 32 at the very bottom. Who do you think our bottom QB is?
probably Sam Darnold.
Probably.
Kdawg's thinking. He's thinking.
Drake May?
Just take a guess. No, it was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is our bottom ranked QB.
Nice, I love that.
C-Dubs had him the lowest at 32.
Nice.
Koop had him at 31.
I did.
Kdawg had him at 30. I had him at 27.
So of course,
Oh,
you're a homer, bro.
Giants homer, yeah.
The next one. All right, I'm just gonna blow through these, so we don't have to.
I'm not
So we
gonna
don't waste
say.
time. All right, so Daniel Jones, and at 31 we had Bo Nix. 30 we did Drake May / Jacoby Brissett. 29 Sam Darnold. I am the highest at 24.
He was unranked on my list, so I don't know how that worked.
I put him
you
instead of
JJ?
JJ.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Anytime you had like a backup, I just
fair enough.
flipped it. Gardner Minshew
Backup.
was next. At,
Gardner Minshew's not starting either.
Yes, he will.
we don't know that.
I
Absolutely.
think Aiden O'Connell's a favorite.
You can bet on that.
I know.
Sorry.
27 is Will Levis. 26 Bryce Young. 25 Derek Carr. 24 Jaden Daniels. 23 Deshaun Watson. 22 A. Rich. 21 Russ. 20 Caleb Williams. 19 Baker. 18 Geno. 17 Trevor Lawrence. And 16 Tua Word Salad.
I like that. I saw that on C-Dubs.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, he's a two.
I did have to Google how to spell him. I thought how you were gonna do this, we all had to have the spelling correctly, so I was like, I got
Yeah.
I did do that. I had to change. Thanks, Coop. You had to put all your funny nicknames and
There was
all
only
that.
a few, but it was
Like-
the ones that
like
I
Jordan-
didn't know how to
Jordan
spell.
Love, and then the last name.
Jordan. Okay. And then I did turn the ball over for
I saw that.
Tony Vailoa. I don't know how to spell that shit. And that was it. And then I did Tony Richardson, just because I thought that was funny.
Did you guys have any surprises in what I listed out to you?
Okay, obviously I had Will Levis the highest at 20.
You did. I had him the
So-
lowest at 32.
Jesus, you really think he's the worst quarterback in the league?
C-Dubs had him at 30.
I had him at 26.
No.
However, you were a little.
And then
I don't
fine.
know where this came from.
It's fine.
One of my biggest surprises of this preseason
Projection.
is your Titans fandom.
I think
don't know where it came from.
the ranking we were most all in consensus was Bryce Young. I had him at 26. You guys all had him at 27.
I thought, because I have Russell Wilson at 21, so you guys have him.
I have him at 23. I was the lowest on
I
Russ.
had him at 18.
And then C-Dubs had him at 20.
Wow.
And then probably the most wild card, someone had a guy way higher than the rest of us was probably our number 15. I'm going to jump into it. This is how this guy snuck in to number 15. Aaron Rodgers is our number 15 quarterback. Kdawg had him the highest at 9.
9!
And I had him, and that was
How
offset
bad?
by me. I had him at 21.
Okay,
Ew.
okay, let's talk about this.
What
You
is
guys
wrong with
debate.
you?
You guys debate.
Well, I mean, I spoke about it. Why I
Okay.
don't like him. I think he's going to be a bum this season because I think he's just going to be rusty. He's old, and what does he have to show? He's just doing his. He's kind of like Trump. He's just out there just talking to talk, and he's not playing. He's not playing for real.
He doesn't. Well, if you're talking, I mean, how I see Aaron Rodgers, and maybe I'm a little biased because as a Cowboys fan, I've been burned by him a lot, so I'm a little afraid of him. But how I feel like, I mean, he's in the prime of his career. He was the best quarterback we've ever seen, talent-wise, or among the best quarterback we've ever seen.
Okay.
The end of his career has kind of tailed off a little bit. Green Bay ended, obviously. Then he gets hurt in New York. I feel like he has something to prove. To me, he has something to prove. This is by far his most talented team he's had in, I don't know, maybe 5 years. I know Green Bay was really good in those couple MVP seasons he had late in the 2010s, I guess. But it's a really talented team. I think he has something to prove. He doesn't have to do a lot with that offense. He just needs to get the ball around, distribute. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL history in terms of not throwing interceptions.
But who has he got for weapons? He got Garrett Wilson and
Mike Will.
Don't make me say Mike Williams.
Mike Will made it.
He's got Breece Hall. He's got an enhanced offensive line. He's got one of the best defenses in the NFL.
It's true.
Is it one of the best?
Yeah.
So, if I recall correctly, I think we all had him around 9 or 10 last year going into the season.
Yeah, and if it weren't for that injury, I still feel comfortable about that. And there is a precedent. I don't know. I forget how old he is. He's 42 maybe.
I think he's 41.
There is
I mean, you got him at
precedent
15.
for quarterbacks having great years that old. I mean, Tom Brady did it. Brett Favre did it. Both in their 40s.
I mean,
had some
did
of their
Tom
best
Brady
seasons.
have was it a great
Statistically,
year?
he's had some of his best seasons past 40 years. Rodgers, in my opinion, is more talented than either of those guys. And so I think if they can do it, so can him.
All right.
I think he deserves to be top 10.
Aaron
Out of
Rodgers is
respect.
40 years old.
I think he's just going to be just throwing it like 25 times a game and just half of those going to be to Garrett Wilson and half are going to be dump offs.
But if it
Brees.
is, if that's true, I mean, he's going to be very, very efficient. He's not going to throw interceptions.
I know, but do we want efficient or do we want yards and touchdowns and points and...
If he goes out, there was like 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3,500 yards. That's a top.
That is not top 15.
That's a top 10 quarterback.
Before
right
you
there.
end that, right there, Russell Wilson did that exact same thing last year.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, so did C.J. Stroud. He had some more yards.
He had like 35 touchdowns, didn't he?
No.
No, I think he had. I think he was in
maybe
the
he
high
had some
20s.
rushing.
had
No, I
20.
looked him up today. He had 24, I believe.
Oh,
Maybe he
really?
had some rushing too.
So I'm at 15, so I'm kind of in the middle of you guys. Number 9, that's pretty crazy because I feel like a number 9 spot would mean he is winning games for that team. Whereas I think both me and you are kind of agreed, Kdawg, where he just has to go out there and be kind of above average or average to win games. So we're not necessarily like looking for him to be that it factor to win the games there. So you think he might end up?
Well, not necessarily, but I would say that there's not a lot of quarterbacks, in my opinion, in the NFL today that are those type of players that can elevate their team like that. Like if I look at the players I have behind him, guys like Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, you could say the same thing for all of those guys. And in my opinion, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than those. For 1 year, this year, with that team, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
excited to see because I feel like you're putting a lot of weight behind the name, not
I am.
necessarily the play.
I am, but for a good reason, in my opinion.
I'm excited. I just want to get like a healthy season for him
Yeah, I know.
because we missed it last year.
Yeah, last year was exciting.
It was
Yeah,
so-
we gotta
such a what if.
we gotta see what this Jets team can be. I feel like the hype is, lessened a little bit now
Right.
that it's been a year removed.
And that was like
but-
coming right off like a Hard Knocks and stuff.
Right.
Honestly,
Like,
if they go to the
everyone's like,
Super
"Oh."
Bowl, do we give ourselves credit for our Super Bowl Jets call last year?
No.
If it's the Jets and the what did we pick? The Jets and the
Bengals.
Bengals.
No.
I don't
think I
No,
chose
that doesn't
that.
make any sense. It wasn't the Bengals. It
I think
was,
we all-
that was the championship game.
Was it the 9th? Did we do, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what our NFC team
I
was.
feel like
I think I picked the Eagles.
I feel like the Jets are set up better this year because they don't have as much pressure as they did last year. I mean, last year they were the hottest team to
Right.
pick, right? It's like the
Yeah.
up and coming, but now they still kind of are, but to a lesser
So,
extent.
do you think he's going to run out of the tunnel with an American flag or an Israeli flag?
or
We'll
a
see.
Southern flag.
Oh, that type of Southern.
All right, number 14. Kyler Murray.
Ew.
Wow, this is so
K-Dog.
low.
K-Dog faded
I
Kyler
know.
Murray.
I saw that.
22 for K-Dog. Koop had him the highest at 9.
Okay, so we got to talk about this. What's up with you, bro? 22?
You were just talking about Aaron Rodgers at 9. You put Kyler Murray at 9.
I do put Kyler Murray there because he's shown that he's been a top 5 quarterback many times before he got injured there.
A top 5 quarterback.
Absolutely. Well, if we're looking at fantasy here, yeah, he's got the rushing upside. He can throw pretty well too.
I mean, personally, I'm not thinking about the rushing as much maybe as you guys are.
So
Why?
What do you think about Lamar then? I know you have
That's
top
fair.
5.
That's fair. Well, okay, that's fair. I take it back. I do think about the rushing a little bit with Kyler. I did not think about it so much.
And he's got 2
I look
weapons.
at his passing stats.
And he's got James Conner.
I mean,
I don't care about James Conner.
Now he has Marvin Harrison Jr.,
True.
Trey McBride.
True. At the end of the day, it's been a long time since he's been healthy and has been
He finished out the season
consistently
pretty
good.
well though.
I mean, let me look at his game logs.
He played 8 games.
He was 3-5 at 1,800 yards.
I mean, they were a
flashed.
bad
Touchdown.
dog.
He's flashed.
They were a bad team.
Look, I mean, at this point,
he's
it's
not-
like I know he's the number 1 overall pick, but at this point, this is his 6th year. He's had injury concerns. He's had concerns about how much he cares about getting better.
I think the media has kind of overblown a lot of that, and the recency bias for his injuries kind of take over. Because if you do go look at his game logs, the first 3 years in the league, I think you'd be pretty impressed.
If we're looking strictly at fantasy statistics, which not everyone considers them to be the Bible, I do. He finished top 15 of the weeks that he played last year. 1, 2, 3, 6 out of 8 weeks. Pretty good.
And how
He
did
finished
his
top.
first few
Sorry, I
seasons
missed what you
in
said.
the
He
league?
finished
Where
top
do you
what?
rank?
Top 15, 6 out of 8.
Okay.
And then before he was it ACL that he tore in 2022, he was top 10, like near basically every week. He missed twice, and then obviously the week he tore his ACL. This is strictly fantasy.
My stats are loading. Hold on.
Which I don't. It's
But
not,
I
obviously
still-
not 1-to-1. But
Rush.
fantasy,
So Rush is overweighted. Rushing is overweighted in fantasy. However,
sure,
I still think it's a good statistic to measure how.
absolutely. That
Well,
guy can
I mean-
scramble. I mean, how many plays do we see him running like a little toddler behind the line of scrimmage, and then he throws a dot? You know, he throws 40 yards around, runs 40 yards around, and then throws 40 yards down the field.
I don't know. I kind of view it as like I feel that it's more of a deficiency with that he has to. He is good at scrambling, but he also has to scramble
Is that
given
on him?
his size.
Why is that on him? Maybe his O-line's just breaking down, and he's got to get out of it.
Regardless, I just think he's limited in that regard. I mean, I'm looking at his passing. He hasn't had 300-yard passing game since October of 2022.
I mean, when's the last
That's
time?
going on-
When's
When's
the
the
last
last
time?
time-
When's the last time
That's going on 2
Lamar had a
years ago.
300-yard
Well, he's
passing
out a
game?
whole season, wasn't he?
Well, that's my point, though. Is it's been a long time since we've seen much from him, and that is good.
Exactly.
And yes,
That's the
we've gotten
bias.
Marvin Harrison, but I don't
Alright,
know.
I'm ready.
I've never loved Kyler.
I've already made a bet with a friend that he's gonna be a top 5 quarterback, or actually,
Top
no, sorry,
5?
top 12 quarterback.
Okay.
I will admit that me having him at 22 may be a bit low. However, in no realm do I see him top 10.
Okay,
All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's go to 13.
$5.
We almost lost a surge there. All right, number 13. Speaking of guys who... Actually, I think this is the most out-of-pocket ranking. C-Dubs had this guy at 5. The second highest ranking was 13, which was
Mine.
Koop. And then Kdawg and I got this guy at 17. It's Matt Stafford.
I wish Cetos was here.
So to quote C-Dubs from our group chat earlier, he said... I asked if that was a typo. And he goes, no, dude knows how to win and is an elder statesman in the NFL. He can still sling it.
He'd make a great
Put
president.
him on the Dolphins, and they're a contender.
So actually, after you said that, I kind of do agree with him. I don't like Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Turn the
Wow.
bomb over to me.
Tua violin.
I'm not a fan of his, so I do think if Matt Stafford was on there, I agree. I mean, because we already see Matt Stafford won a
don't-
Super Bowl.
I don't have a problem with Tua
I-
as much as you guys do.
I don't know. Matt Stafford is honestly one of the hardest players to rank.
Because he's always hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, okay, in general with Matt Stafford, I feel like everyone thought he was underrated in Detroit, and I think people thought he was so underrated that he almost became a little overrated of how much people were saying he was underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then he goes and gets
And then he
traded
goes and
like
gets the Super Bowl,
Okay.
and give all the credit to him. I mean, I'm looking at stats. He had a great year. He had 41 touchdowns that year.
Did he really?
That was 2 years
Gosh.
ago, though. And
Was that
since
MVP
then,
year? Did he win MVP?
No,
Was
but
Mahomes win with it?
2021.
I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
I don't know,
Sorry.
but anyway, the past 2 years, I mean, after the Super Bowl, he got hurt, wasn't very good. Last year, he was pretty much healthy. He started 15 games, but he had 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which is okay. But to me, like his completion percentage dropped quite a bit. He's low 60s. I just feel like he's on the decline. Like, unfortunately, I mean, he is how old is he? He's 36.
It's late. I thought he was lower than that. Yeah.
I just think he's past his prime. I respect him. He's had a great career, but you can't tell me he didn't have weapons last year. I know Cooper Kupp was hurt, but
I was just gonna say, I think it's more so the Rams maybe are going through a little decline offensively because, you had to have Puka Nacua step into that wide receiver 1 role when Kupp was gone. Now I don't know how severe Puka's injury is, but if he's not available, we might see another kind of slow start.
We haven't heard anything
to the
about it
season.
yet.
Yeah, but if both those guys are back, I could see him having a 30-plus.
Yeah, but 5? Like, that's...
nah.
5, you got to have, like, that's,
No, I
like...
agree.
5's way too high,
There's
man.
a lot of people
like,
I like over him, so.
Like, you have to be, like, an elite pocket passer with, like... I mean, but it's kind of funny, right? Because we all have Joe Burrow high, but he's kind of had the same story the last, like, couple of years where, like, he's, like, an elite pocket passer, but he's also, like, crazy injury prone.
But we
Sure,
know, I
but
think,
they're going very different directions.
Yeah.
you know.
So, I mean, I know, but
Matt
they
Stafford's
honestly, they could have the same... I could see them having kind of the same finish, actually, now that I say that.
yeah, on the year, I can see that, but I think
If they're both healthy,
there's always some sort of bias, and right now our bias is that Matt Stafford just
they actually
a little
kind
bit
of,
old.
That team comps are actually kind of similar now that I think about it. All right.
I asked myself what Matt Stafford's even playing for at this point. Like, you won your Super Bowl, you're getting hurt these past couple of years. Why are you even playing?
Maybe he wants another Super Bowl, and maybe that would solidify a Hall of Fame berth. How many Super Bowls you got to win to get the Hall of Fame? 2?
That's why
Is
Eli's
Eli?
gonna make it, yeah.
Is Eli getting in?
I don't think
so.
it really matters. I mean, I think it's a combination.
Like Russ isn't going to get in.
I don't think
No.
He was on track though.
He was.
If he went to Denver and was good and never won another Super Bowl, I think he would have made it.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad.
That'd
That's a topic over a couple beers.
Maybe a couple tears too.
be a good YouTube video. Yeah, decline of Russell Wilson. All right, number 12, Kirk Cousins.
Ooh,
Koop's the most bullish on.
at 11.
On Kirky at 11. This was very even of all of
Yeah,
us.
I feel like it would
I was
be.
lowest at 15. Kdawg came in at 12. C-Dub's at 13.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll take it away here.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins, man, before that injury, he was lighting it up.
he's a slinger.
I think he was like on pace to have his best season or something like that. So a lot of these are projections. I'm trying to take the injury out of it. If he's coming back fully healthy, he's going to a team that has very good weapons. He's kind of going into a very similar team that he was on with the Vikings.
Maybe minus an alpha.
Drake London.
He's not as much as JJ.
My sleeper this year, Drake London.
Is he? Can he? You think Drake London can turn into JJ? Mr. 2 touchdown.
All right, get out of here. That's because he had.
I didn't like you
he
pulling
had-
that stat out.
He had Desmond Riddler
Wait,
as
why
his
did-
quarterback.
why
Actually, it supported me.
Why didn't you like that stat?
No, I liked it. It made me sound better, but
Oh, because you had.
I had him as my sleeper.
Desmond
but
Riddler.
I didn't
yeah,
realize.
that's more of a testament to how bad his quarterback
Okay.
was.
All right, anyways.
So he's got Pitts, London, Bijan.
Sure.
So I think that's a great supporting cast, and really the cast makes the main character sometimes. So with him being able to get them the ball, I think he's gonna have a great season if he stays healthy.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's like I would have Penix right here basically if
no.
Kirk Cousins gets hurt.
Stop.
Penix is my number 11.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that one.
Really? Did you watch him play?
In his one little preseason game.
Dog,
I didn't.
Penix looked
He
good.
was slinging it, man.
I mean, I'm rooting for him, but
He looked good, but he also had some balls that he
Nope.
just whiffed on, and I was like, Penix,
It's
like
'cause
he
he's playing
hit
with
those. He hit those all day at
Because he
UW.
was playing with the 2s and 3s. Do you think
No.
Drake London's catching all those balls?
No,
I
He
just
might even be gurgling them.
no rookie belongs in top 12 in my opinion. But
I know.
I think this is
I
appropriate for Kirk
Come
though.
on.
I mean, if I'm playing fantasy, if I'm drafting, a QB doesn't come early and I get Kirk Cousins in a late round, I'm pretty happy.
Alright.
I'm pretty happy with that. So.
Yeah, and if you had picked, Drake London maybe early on, or
Sure. Yeah.
maybe grab Pitts.
I hear the Pitts London Cousins stack is gonna be really good.
and
three.
Bijan,
Oh,
and don't
No,
forget their
not-
kicker,
no,
Young
not
Ho
Bijan,
Koo.
man.
Young Ho.
Don't forget that defense.
It's actually
Or Young Wei.
Young Way.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry to Young.
I
I
think you
actually
could.
don't think it's Young Way.
Sorry to Young Ho.
I think if you got
Coos.
Bijan, you could definitely draft the entire Falcons roster, have that as your team, right?
It probably wouldn't be terrible.
And then you could do like Tyler Algier as your RB2.
Sure. Yeah.
You're really banking on like a.
Johnny Smith, is he still playing for?
No,
No,
I think
he's
he's with the
with-
Dolphins.
He is with the Dolphins. It's a great memory.
It's not a memory; it's a truth. All right, number 11. I think we can all say I'm surprised, based on how much shade and hate Koop threw at this guy last year.
Yeah, I know.
Brock Purdy, number 11. I had him at 10. Koop had him at 10. Kdawg had him at 10.
Yeah.
C-Dub's at 14. C-Dub's
Wow,
faded.
Cedo's brought it.
Yeah,
He-
right,
he
yeah.
brought it down.
He's hating. He's hating.
But I mean, like, if you want to say about having good supporting casts, I mean, this guy arguably has
Absolutely.
the best in the league.
And-
That might change depending if Ayuk leaves,
He's
which
still got
sounds like he might leave
Slick
tomorrow.
Rick.
Slick injured Rick.
For me, I was going through this, and I even had him higher than this. at one
Why?
point.
Why are you such a slob on my knob,
I
Brock
had him
Purdy
higher.
guy?
I'm not, but I had to give him his flowers.
Wow.
He was due.
You're humble.
And I think it's probably because I was going through all the team rankings and stuff, like passing statistics and stuff, and the 49ers crushed it last year with that. And that's a lot to do with Purdy, and I got to give it to him on that.
He's just efficient. Like, he
Yeah,
just
he
puts
is.
the ball in players' hands, and he doesn't do too much. And I just feel like he has a lot of awareness in the pocket. Like, you don't really see him get sacked a whole lot.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a testament to the O-line, but I feel like even when he was, like, getting pressured, he always snuck away, like,
Yeah.
or just got away. Like, I feel like watching when the Seahawks played against them, it was just impossible to get to him. Like, he just had some magic trick that he pulled out. It kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, not as crazy, but like a little bit of like what Russ was like a long time ago.
Right. Now you're slow.
And like, I don't know, it's just really impressive.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch that, especially for a young guy. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
It's too bad any other team but the 49ers, right? But-
Yeah, exactly. I have him at 10, so I'm just as responsible for having him at 11. But I think there's a chance we're all sleeping on him, honestly. I think... I don't know. He's so hard because you do want to disappoint the supporting cast, but at the same time, like you said, he's very efficient. He makes great decisions. His stats look great. The idea that he dumps off every other play is just a myth. The stats do not support that.
You're right.
So what if C-Max...
He has the highest
and he's been good
yards per attempt.
Yeah, and he's been good in the playoffs, too.
Does he really?
He does.
That also could be because, like, Debo and Kittle are, like, yards after catch monsters.
But I think, like, if you look at...
I think it's air yards.
I think if you look at air... I think he's up there in air yards, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, my biggest thing with him, I think if I'm going to, like, hate on him just a little bit, I do think there are quarterbacks that in that system would be extremely good.
Yeah,
like plug anyone else in there, but I can't fault him for that.
Right.
That's
but
not the case.
But think about we've seen a lot of quarterbacks in that system. We've seen Garoppolo.
I mean, like put Joe Burrow in there and like.
Okay, but that goes for any team. You could
put Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon.
Put Mahomes with Tyreek Hill
and McCaffrey.
I mean, everyone needs help. Like, yes, the great ones make others better.
I know.
But actually, you know what would happen if you put Lamar in that system? It would not work.
But what I'm saying is like, we haven't seen another quarterback. We have, obviously, the bad ones, Garoppolo and stuff. But, like, we haven't seen another quarterback. So why am I going to use that as a fault of his?
Was it Kaepernick before Garoppolo?
Who was before Garoppolo? Like there were some nobodies.
There's got to be somebody. Was it in Darnold?
No, Darnold was just last year.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even know. I think there were
Josh Rosen?
No, he was the Cardinals. People before that.
All right.
Regardless.
Top 10 of the Shmokin Hot Takes rankings.
Yikes.
I don't like Koop for this one.
Why?
It's a terrible ranking. Jared Goff. He's got him at 14. I had him at 7.
Okay.
C-Dubs had him at 9. Kdawg 11.
Okay,
Goff was like the number top 5 last year.
I agree.
So
I think he's good.
So why did you drop him 10 spots down?
There's so many good quarterbacks, man. Honestly, making this list past like even. I mean, I got Tua below him. I got Rodgers below him. I got Lawrence, Geno. Like
Lawrence. Yeah, of course you have Lawrence.
I'm just saying, there's still good quarterbacks below him.
But he's got an alpha. He's got like 2 alpha. He's got like 3 alphas.
Name all 3.
Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams.
Okay, I knew
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I knew you were gonna say that third one.
We're reaching a bit on Jameson Williams.
Okay, not Jameson Williams, but sure, like he's got like arguably top 3
I don't
wide receiver
disagree that
in the
he
league.
shouldn't be up there. Like my 11 through 14 could be intertwined there.
I mean, you have.
What?
You've Matt Stafford higher than him. How is Matt Stafford higher than him?
Because he won a Super Bowl in that trade, bro.
That's so bad. It's such a bad...
Put Matt Stafford in the Lions offense? Come on.
I just think it's a bad... Like, Jared Goff, like, speaking of putting the ball in playmakers' hands, being efficient, being accurate, like, that's... Like, Jared Goff is, like, the king of that. It's a bad... I think
I'm taking Purdy over Goff. But I think their situations are obviously Goff's a little older. He's been doing this longer, but I think
you had him one.
Their situations are pretty similar. Like they both have great supporting casts.
Okay, so
and Jared Goff has proved more than some of your people that you have ahead of him.
What are you talking about?
Like especially for this year, you're putting. Well, I don't want to spoil too far. All right, let's move on.
Jesus, I don't think it's that bad of a ranking. It's fine. I think he should be at 10.
I think he's the best QB in his division.
Well, this is why we average it out.
Yeah, and this is why we're going to talk about the next QB in the division, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, I know.
Which you also are the lowest on him, number 12.
Well, at least I'm higher than Stafford. Or not Stafford, Goff or whatever.
Kdawg's got him at 8. You're the highest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow,
I expected C-Dubs to have more higher.
C-Dub, and then I'm
Jordan Love Glazer.
I mean, so we are at him at 9. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I'm at 12.
I mean, to defend myself, he had a great year last year.
Yeah,
you don't have to defend yourself.
Is he worth $55 million a year?
I just feel
over 10 games.
He was second in the league in touchdowns last year with a bunch of.
Do you remember how that playoff game ended? Thrown across his body.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible, and he deserves flack for that. But everything to get to that point is crazy. I do think though, You might have saw I had the Packers. Maybe I'm contradicting myself because I had the Packers as finishing third in the NFC North.
Dude, we might have to have that. As
I do think the Packers hype is a little much, and maybe that's what drove me to that.
You
I think
they're
overhyped.
Wait, I have an idea. So, we were this hyped about the Jets last year.
Sure.
Where did Aaron Rodgers come from? The Packers.
Ooh.
Okay.
So maybe the curse is moving back to the Packers.
Maybe.
And maybe first drive this year, Jordan Love
All right, don't
tears his Achilles. Put that in the air.
So you have the Bears beating or doing better than the Packers?
I do.
Can you explain that?
Well, I think when I put it like that, in my head, I'm thinking like they're not going to be separated by a lot. Maybe a game. Maybe they're tie. I don't know. But like I don't see a lot of difference there, and it's me trying to show that I think the Packers are overhyped.
So how come you don't have Caleb Williams at like top 5?
I had him at 14. I thought that was.
I
Pretty
can't
good for a
believe
rookie.
that is.
Caleb Williams. Let's see. He ranked 20.
You guys don't think
Coop had him Coop and C-Dubs tied at 23.
You guys don't think there's a decent chance with his supporting cast that he's going to be a top 15 quarterback this year?
Look,
When was the last time we saw CJ Stroud?
I think there's a pretty good chance.
I just think he's not mentally prepared
Why?
for the NFL.
Why? How do you? Why?
We saw how he reacted.
He cried.
I don't care about a man crying or whatever, but like
Coop doesn't believe in emotions.
to say that he has so much hype around him,
He does.
it's going to be unfair what happens to him the first time he loses. Like if he goes out there and loses to the Titans, which I have projected. Imagine
what?
Hold on, just imagine the world
What?
where the number 1 pick in the draft, who's overhyped, has this dream team around him, goes out, loses to the Will Levis-led Titans. Is he a bust? Where do the Bears go from here? They thought they had their quarterback. Like, could you imagine him losing? Like, I don't know.
Hopefully the scriptwriter's not listening because
That's
he would have he or she.
The Bears actually have a pretty hard schedule compared to the Packers. But I also have the Bears ranked pretty low, so that's why.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's more of like I care for the guy. I hope he does well.
Right.
But it's a tough spot to be in.
I agree.
And
that's why I'm at 14 and not top 10.
Okay. But for 14 for a rookie quarterback?
Yeah.
Who's proved nothing in the NFL?
Yeah.
How? Did you put CJ Stroud up there last year?
Because you look at history, it happens. No, I didn't. But
Why didn't you?
I should have. You look at history, rookie quarterbacks do it. You got CJ Stroud, you got Justin Herbert.
You're trying to get ahead of it.
You got Dak Prescott. I can look at this list. A bunch of guys had great rookie years. Some didn't. But this is supposedly one of the best. Supposedly one of the best quarterback prospects, of this century.
Well, so was Trevor Lawrence.
Josh Rosen's definitely not number 1 overall.
He was like number 3 or something.
Something like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like 50.
All right, how about we finish up with Jordan Love? Great wide receivers. Great wide receivers.
You mean the Lions fan 42069?
Sure. Yeah. But here's my problem with Jordan. Here's my one concern about Jordan Love. Even though I have him ranked 9, pretty high. Actually, right on the money. He got paid. Are we going to see the paid drop off? That's my only concern.
Doesn't matter.
It matters. Trust me.
I think
every year
he hasn't accomplished anything.
Once Joe Burrow got paid, oh man, he started tearing things left and right. You think he did that intentionally? Might be a little Paygate conspiracy.
Paygate. That's the new.
All right.
That's the new hot name.
So there was a message about this player in our group chat earlier. How Koop was pissed at C-Dubs for his ranking of this guy, but Kdawg did him even dirtier.
Are you kidding me?
Jalen Hurts at number 8.
Oh, honestly, that's not even...
I actually have him the highest at 5.
Yeah.
Kdawg's got him at 13.
Dude.
C-Dub's at 10. Dude.
He's an average...
Is that what you think about the tush push to where you're like, oh, he lost the tush
No, that's just a Cowboys fan. That's a Cowboys fan.
No, I'm not going to hear you out. You're just going to stop talking.
If we're ranking top quarterbacks, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. He's an average passer. You can't look at his stats.
No, he's not an average passer.
Yes, he is. He's literally last year he might have been even below average. He's never shown me that. You want to say he has a bunch of rushing touchdowns? Yeah, he runs in from the 1 yard line. So could half these guys. They're just not in that situation.
Petty.
All right. What about Kellen Moore?
Jesus Christ.
All right. Hey, you know what? That's fair.
No.
That's what I love about doing these rankings. We're all going to have a different opinion. I got him at 6. You said you had me.
Yeah, I'm at 5. Yeah, I mean,
Which is kind of wild.
It is wild because I feel like I've been talking down on the Eagles' offense a little bit, but like, I for one think he's going to be a better passer than some of the guys that you have ahead of him, and I think the offense, like, while it's not going to be one of my favorite offenses to watch, it's still going to be better than what it was last year, strictly because of Saquon. So I think it's going to be more efficient.
Can I interject?
Sure. What?
How is this offense not going to be fun to watch? You
Because
got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts.
Are you putting Dallas Goedert in with the rest of those guys?
He's a good pass-catching tight end. It's
He's
not like
he's a good tight end.
It's not like he has some bum.
Yeah.
They have some bum at tight end.
Well, he didn't make our top 10.
I'm just saying.
Spoiler.
Those are some dynamic players. That's gonna be a fun offense.
Honestly, Devontae Smith kind of fell off a cliff. Like, he wasn't really doing a whole lot.
Because A.J. Brown was like,
I know. So, like, what makes...
You guys overhyped. Can we just say you guys overhyped the hell out of Devontae Smith last year?
Oh, dude, I was convinced.
Though, man. I think they heard the episode, or A.J. Brown or something said, hey, I'm going to send this to my agent.
He looked so good the year before that. Like, end of season.
And the beginning of the season, he looked great.
Yeah.
We were like, beginning of the season, we were like, hey.
We were really confident. I was very confident that Devonta Smith would pop off. And I still think he's going to.
I think
they didn't. They paid him for a reason.
That's true.
I just want to say one last comment. The league average passing rating last year was 89.0. Jalen Hurts was 89.1.
So he's good.
Weird.
He's above average.
Pretty average. Sounds pretty
yeah,
average.
but they don't
You said that was last year.
Do they mix rushing into that? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
That was last year where he had 15 interceptions. Obviously, it's a down year.
That's him.
I'm just saying, it's a down year.
No, I disagree. I think
Josh Allen had
that's-
18,
I think
something
that's
like
a
that.
year.
Josh Allen leads the league in interceptions since when he was drafted.
Yeah, and we've talked about him being overrated.
Well, I know you have him in the top 3, don't you?
We'll see.
One of us doesn't.
I don't think it's a down year. I think his MVP caliber year was an up year. I think every other year has been like this.
Whatever. Carry on. Johnson.
Yeah, so this is a confusing one. I don't know why we have this guy ahead of Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert is ahead of Jalen Hurts.
So I actually have him behind Jalen Hurts, but it looks like other people like him more.
So, yeah, so both you and Kdawg had him at 7. I am actually the one bringing him down here. Oh, actually, we had Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts tied, technically. I had him at 12, so that kind of was what brought him down.
Jesus, I thought we were all Justin Herbert lovers.
No,
I'm not, but I did rank him higher. I'm kind of
so why do you like Herbert more than Jalen Hurts?
Well, because I feel like he's a better pure.
But
passer.
who is he passing to?
Well, I think he's.
What has he done?
Enough. He hasn't won.
He has
That's
an injury.
why I have him lower.
He has an injury.
If he had more success in the playoffs, he'd be higher on my list. But he hasn't. Therefore, I have him lower.
I mean, you have him at 7. That's pretty high.
It is, because I think he's, as far as if I'm looking at pure passing talent, I'm looking at the numbers he puts up. He deserves to be. I mean, last year he was injured, so it's an off year. Those prior years, he has 4,700 yards, 5,000 yards, 4,300 yards.
I just think they're going to make him into like J.J. McCarthy this year.
No.
And I just...
Well, then he's going to be a damn good J.J.
No,
McCarthy.
I just don't. He doesn't have any weapons. And trust me, this guy's on my fantasy team.
DJ
I wish he would be good.
But
I'm not nearly as
I
bullish
agree.
as you guys are.
He doesn't have weapons, but
He doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have a running back.
he's fine.
Gus Edwards?
What does he have going for him? Like, this is worse than like Lamar's crew around him.
His talent.
This is the Harbaugh system. He has only ever really had one primary receiver. So one of these guys is either it's McConkey, QJ, or
Palmer.
DJ Chark or Palmer.
The most likely wide receiver one you list last.
Is going to be the guy that's going to get 3,000 yards.
3,000.
No, obviously,
has there ever been a 3,000 yard season?
No, but what I'm saying, there's going to be a primary receiver there, and then, but that's it.
But how can you rate him higher than like
because we're
Jared Goff?
We're all thinking about what he could be, honestly. At least when I rate him.
Yeah.
Because I see him, and if he was on a better team, if he had a healthier season,
that doesn't matter.
Yes,
we have to rate him with the team that he is on.
Well, you can rate him however you want.
Because if that was the case, then okay, let's just put Will Levis on the Dolphins, and it'll be number 1. Any guy you put on the Dolphins that could pass better than Tua is number 1.
Okay, let's put Herbert on the Dolphins and be much better than Tua and much better than Levis. I'll tell you that. And I'm a Levis fan.
Levis has got a good deep ball. That's all he's got going.
That's
for
what
him.
I'm saying. Is like, I think we're all just waiting to see his like a complete season where he does what we know he can do.
He has had those seasons.
Where he goes deep into the
Yeah,
playoffs.
but he had weapons.
We know he's that type
But he had
of
weapons.
Do we?
When he had
I
that.
disagree. I don't know if we know that.
We have him ranked at 7 for a reason.
But yeah, I'd have him higher if he was
on the
winner.
Seahawks. I think he'd win as a Super Bowl.
He could.
Yeah,
but he's not on the Seahawks. That's the problem.
But he hasn't shown that he can win, regardless of
because
talent around him.
His defense has sucked. They blew a 27-point lead because of his defense.
Yeah.
And you only hear, oh, Justin Herbert lost in the playoffs. No, he didn't lose. His defense lost. He gave him 27 points to work with. So I think that's unfair.
All right, Smokers, you let us know if you.
And I'm only defending him because I look goddamn like him, don't I?
I think it's just you just like to defend all these guys that had Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator.
It's something about.
I don't really like Dak Prescott, to be honest. But...
I mean, Kdawg, you had him at 7 too, so you're not safe in this either.
Well,
It's
a bad ranking.
I think it's
I'm
how is that
sorry.
bad?
It's just bad.
Look at his stats, all right? Look at his stats.
but he doesn't have anything, dude. He's got nothing. Whatever. You want to bet some money on this?
The only knock
Top 10?
on him is that he hasn't
$10.
won much.
Top 10.
That's not fair.
Like in what? Like in fantasy points?
I don't think he's gonna get top 10
So why is he ranked 7?
because it's his potential, man.
Talk.
Okay. Out of all this list, he's probably like my peer. Like
I hate that ranking.
I just see the potential, what he can be, what
for
he's
both
done.
of you. I hate it.
I don't. He's probably my one non-projection.
Like
rank.
how do you have Hurts 6 spots lower Kdawg than
Because Justin
Herbert's?
Herbert's a way better passer than Jalen Hurts.
But it's not all about passing. It's not all about passing.
I would disagree.
Like, okay, then why is Lamar in your top 15?
Well, because Lamar's like that special of a player, and he's a good passer. He's a better
All right.
passer than Jalen Hurts.
All right, we're moving on. Sorry, Smokers. I got a little
Whoa,
carried away
whoa.
here.
I got a little Lamar love going on over here. I haven't felt that in a while.
Yeah. All right, number 6 on our list, CJ Stroud.
It's a little too high.
Koop and I are the lowest at 8, or highest, whatever you want to call it. Kdawg is the most bullish on him at 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the weapons?
Well, it's just you look at it. He had
Don't say the weapons.
For a rookie quarterback, he had a great year last year. One of the best in terms of efficiency rookie years we've ever seen. Maybe the best. And now he's coming back his second year with improved weapons. I don't know why I can't say that.
Well, I was just saying
You
that
got-
because if we're gonna make it all about weapons, then I was gonna be
fair enough.
mad
Fair
at the
enough.
Herbert thing.
But it's like you take what he did last year. You add those weapons. Now I do say, C-Dubs isn't here, but he's been big about the Texans being overrated. And I think he makes good points there. So I'm not saying that, while the Texans may be overrated, I do not think that CJ Stroud is overrated. And I think he's in for a great year.
I think C-Dubs is all basing that off of his belief that there's going to be 2 cancers in the locker room. Like, beyond that, I don't understand why they'd be overrated. Because, Stephon Diggs
it's just
some
like
Trojan horse.
I think
that's
they're
gonna go in
overrated
there.
in the sense that
Come
people
on.
are picking them to go to the Super Bowl. So if they don't, then it's like
Everyone's
okay.
picking the Green Bay Packers, and C-Dubs seemed to hop on that one, didn't you,
Yeah,
buddy?
he sure did. He sure did.
No, I like CJ Stroud. I think 8 for me is like perfect for him. 6 is I think a little. I think 6 is a
A
little.
little too high for me.
I would rather have Hurts over him, but.
It is. He played 1 year.
Kdawg, I feel like you're undervaluing rushing potentials
Fair.
to like extend a play. Like, and CJ Stroud can
But-
move. Actually, he didn't rush much at all last year. I don't think.
Well, I do have a bias towards passing.
Yeah, you do. You love.
Because that's,
But
QB.
that's kind of the quarterback's job, isn't it?
Absolutely.
In my opinion, like if you're more of a rushing quarterback, then you're never going to win. Ultimately, we haven't seen that from Jalen Hurts. We haven't seen that from Lamar Jackson. Now I do have Lamar Jackson higher, but he's also a 2-time MVP.
Well, Lamar. Well, we still had that whole weird thing where the Ravens agreed with you in that championship game, and then just passed with Lamar all the time, and then they choked.
You
They
know
needed
what's
to rush
great
more.
about that? We get to see that week 1.
That'll be fun.
And we're gonna
Do you
see
think?
if
Do you
they're
think
gonna
they'll run
change
it
up a
back?
little bit.
I hope they do.
If you have Derrick Henry, yes, I think they're running the ball a little bit.
It's so bad. There must be a reason for it. I got to find that. CJ Stroud, yeah, number 6.
He could be top 3 this year.
Koop, you have Herbert higher than Stroud. Feels confusing to me,
I do.
but we're not gonna.
I think honestly, I see them very similarly.
Yeah, just one has 3 great
Of
wide
a
receivers
quarterback.
and one has 0.
Yeah, like put Herbert on the Texans.
Put Herbert with
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But it was McConkey and Palmer. It'd be so good.
No. I disagree because you put Justin Herbert on the Chargers. They're the same old Chargers. They still don't win. They're still okay. They don't win. You put C.J. Stroud on the Texans. All of a sudden, oh my God, they're in the playoffs. They're winning a playoff game.
If you put
He's a winner. Justin
Dog.
Herbert is
You
not
can
proven
put
that he's a
Dog.
winner.
Herbert on the Texans would be better than Stroud.
No.
Okay, how about Mahomes on the Chargers?
Mahomes is a winner.
Mahomes on the Chargers, is he winning a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No.
Like this year?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Maybe not, but last couple of years, quite possibly, yeah.
Last couple of years, what do you mean by
Like
that?
when
When
we
he
had
had
what, Keenan?
Keenan Allen?
Right, exactly.
And your boy
Mike Williams or Austin
no,
Eckler
they're
in
not
his
because
prime.
the defense is choking.
I disagree.
All right, number 5.
This is
I'm
outrageous.
so glad we did this format. It was so much more fun bantering over this. Number 5, my guy, Dak Prescott.
That's right where I had him.
It's a good spot. I got him at 6.
Yeah, Kdawg and C-Dub set him at 6. I'm at 4. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I really need to say any more about.
Yeah.
How about you talk about Dak Prescott?
I
Because
don't
you
know.
haven't had a chance to really say
I
anything.
don't have
about
much to say. I mean, it almost feels weird to call him like a top 5, top 6
it
quarterback.
does. We've never.
It feels weird.
He's never been in that range.
But he was second. What was he? Second in MVP voting or third last year? I don't know. He's on a contract year too. There's something to be said about that
Yeah.
as far as projecting. But I don't know. I mean, he has improved. We were talking about winning with C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert. Dak certainly has improved that he can win.
Not in the playoffs, but he can win the regular season.
Right, but when you play the Giants and Commanders twice a year, you know.
Okay, that's 4 games.
Yeah, but they typically in Dak's career, they beat up on the bad teams, lose to the good teams, and he hasn't proven me wrong there. So it feels weird calling him a top 6 quarterback. But I have a hard time putting some of these guys.
He had a
above
crazy
him.
good year last year.
He
You got to
did.
give him credit. He was awesome.
How'd he do against the Packers, though? That's it.
We don't. That's again playoffs. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You didn't watch that game. Who won?
All right.
I try to forget.
Well, I was trying to tank this next guy's rating. Lamar Jackson, number 4,
Where'd you have him?
6.
It's not bad.
Koop had him at 3. C-Dubs had him at 3. Kdawg at 4. So yeah, I put Hurts over him and Dak over him,
I'm surprised
which
you-
I don't think that's egregious, personally.
I'm surprised you'd put Hurts over.
I think Hurts.
Yeah,
It's like-
in what world is
I think Hurts
above
is a
him?
significantly better passer,
Why?
but
Because it's the meme, dude. I didn't want to talk about this. during the
We don't have
season.
to.
I'm
We don't
not
have to.
doing it.
I'm just
But
saying.
to say
I'm just-
he's a better passer.
I think he's a better
Lamar.
passer than
Nothing
Lamar.
supports that.
He has better weapons.
Could that be why he might have a better passer rating or whatever you're thinking of? Which he probably
He's like
doesn't.
Kdawg's looking it up.
Wasn't
right
he
now.
just saying?
In no world is Jalen Hurts a better passer than Lamar. I don't see that.
Anyways, all
Anyways, yep, deflection here.
right. So what do you guys like about Lamar this year?
What is
Not
it, by
much,
the way?
I guess. You're quiet.
What?
What do you like
I'm,
about him?
I'm in awe. I'm speechless by his glory. What do you mean, bro? I mean, what's really changed in that offense?
Who do they got for wide receivers? Nobody.
Still got Zay Flowers.
I guess nobody.
Still got Mark Andrews, who we might be talking about later. Still got Isaiah Likely, who we might be talking about later. You know?
Spoiler alert. We're not.
So
Good try.
not a lot has changed in that offense, and with the season he put up last year.
Yeah, I kind of see more of the same. Agreed. I
Yeah.
mean,
he just finished MVP, like an MVP season.
I don't know. I kind of hate
Even though
this.
some don't think
He doesn't
deserve
feel
it.
like a top 4 quarterback either, to be honest.
Really? Actually, well,
I don't know. And
I can
what
see people making the case for
What
it.
kind of struck me doing this list is like if we had done this like 10 years ago, I feel like there were so many like obvious like I don't know, yeah, like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like that would have been easy. Like okay, this guy's clearly a top 5. But when we're doing this top 5, I don't really feel that way.
I think it's
Sure.
because I think the league is a lot stronger than it was 10 years
Yeah, I
ago.
think-
And so I think you see less parity between like those really top
I just don't
QBs.
agree.
And so then as the play, it becomes harder and harder to separate yourself
That's fair.
from like the top 5
Yeah,
to like
I just feel like we don't have. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is obviously elite, but anyone else, you have
Yeah.
to make an argument for
I
it.
think our top 5 and our 6 through 10, a lot of those 6 through 10 guys could
they can make the
end up
jump.
making it to the jump to the
Yeah.
top 5, which is great. I like having a lot of good quarterbacks to
Yeah,
to watch, you know.
I feel like we have a lot of good ones, but not a lot of
sure. There's
elite
no
ones.
But it's also
not
like
the way
when
it used to
Mahomes
be.
is just the one dominating the Super Bowl. Like, because if you're defining like greatness and eliteness by Super Bowls, like then you can't. It's hard to give it to anybody else, right? Because it's just like Mahomes, everybody else.
I mean, it's really only been
Well,
Mahomes
it's like I look. It's not just that though. I look at like this list, and it's like everybody has some knack. You know, like Lamar Jackson hasn't won. Josh Allen throws a lot of interceptions. Joe Burrow gets hurt. You know, there's something you can say about every single one except for Mahomes.
Right.
Well, Mahomes didn't have like a particularly like awesome year this past year.
Look what he's working with. His weapons.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna have a awesome year this year.
All right, number 3.
He should.
Josh Allen.
That's pretty high.
I'm at 2. Tied with C-Dubs at 2. Koop was the lowest at 4. And then
Wow, that's so low.
Kdawg split the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel like you can kind of intermix like the top 3. I'm a little well. I think the issue, and I'm gonna guess why you have him at 4 is maybe because he doesn't have any wide receivers, which I have something to say about that later.
So
Not on this episode, but I think like they didn't really need wide receivers towards the end of the season because they started. So when that Bills had this,
they didn't need Stephon Diggs catching that ball in the playoff.
How much was Stephon Diggs used in the back half of last season? Not a lot. And
why do you think that was? Because he sucked?
Because he was bad. He was not playing well.
Exactly.
And so they went away from him.
You think you need a wide receiver then?
And so they because they started winning games when they stopped like just
they didn't win that game when he didn't catch that ball?
They were okay. I don't know what game you're referencing to. The playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about playoffs here. It's all regular season.
Not when it's hindsight, brother.
Anywho, they went away. When Joe Brady became the offensive coordinator, it wasn't the Diggs show anymore. And they started spreading the ball around more. James Cook got more involved. And guess what? The Bills started winning games. So I actually don't think Josh Allen really needs like a alpha dog like Stephon Diggs, which I don't even know if you want to call him an alpha dog.
He was.
He's
For
like
a very long
he's
time
like an
he
alpha
was.
puppy dog now.
No.
Okay,
Maybe now.
right now.
Now he is. And last year he was.
I maybe you don't necessarily need an alpha, but you need somebody.
Actually,
You know what's crazy?
So wait, why do you have him at 4?
Talking about Dalton Kincaid.
You know what's crazy?
Sure, he's great.
How old do you think Josh Allen is?
27. 28.
28. Jared Goff is 29, bro. That just blows my mind. Sorry.
So what do you have? What do you have anything else to say about Josh Allen?
He's like another guy that it's more of a projection ranking. You're right. He doesn't have the weapons. I mean, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Kincaid. Like, those are your top 3 guys. I think we're going to see a lot of rushing upside from him this year. And we're going to probably see a lot of picks again. So if he's not throwing the ball to receivers, he's having more picks and more rushing. He's probably going to have more fumbles. I don't know. Maybe another down year. You don't give this guy great weapons. Unless Keon Coleman turns out to be, another Stephon Diggs, prime Stephon Diggs, then I think it's just going to be a rough year for the Bills. And that's going to be apparent in my rankings for them later on.
Yeah, I want to re-rank the Bills for myself.
I still think he's a great quarterback.
I've convinced myself into moving him up.
He's still a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But he makes too many mistakes. And
he does throw a lot of picks. He needs to get the picks down.
And the fumbles and stuff. And if he doesn't have a supporting cast around him, like I said earlier, a lot of times supporting cast makes the main character. So if he doesn't have those guys around him, he's going to be trying to be Superman. I think that was a big thing with him early on in the season was he was trying to be Superman, trying to win every play on his own, and that we saw a lot of picks from that, a lot of fumbles, and I mean when you get rid of Stephon Diggs, who was supposed to be an outlet.
I agree. I think it's gonna be ugly sometimes this year.
All right. Number 2. So we only have 2 guys left.
It's kind of crazy. We were all like very even on this one.
Yeah.
Were we?
At least me and you were.
We got Joe Burrow, a.k.a. Slim Shady.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
C-Dubs
Why?
C-Dubs declared him as his MVP this year.
Yeah.
Put him at 4. He's the lowest. I have him
That's odd.
at 1.
No, you don't.
You actually?
Do I need to?
That's stupid.
It's not
He
stupid.
saw our rankings like,
not
you have him at
stupid.
2.
It's not stupid. I am at 1.
The classic contrarian.
No, it's
It's
not.
like all these guys have it too.
Boo,
Because
boo.
here's the bull case. Actually, this is more of a bear case ranking for Patrick Mahomes to drop down a spot.
How can you with the
Because
team he has around now?
if we keep talking about weapons, and I want to talk about weapons even more. Hollywood Brown just went down. He's hurt. Rashee Rice, probably going to get suspended half the season. Xavier Worthy, kind of the wild factor. We don't really know. Travis Kelce, old. They had to rest him.
Who cares?
A good chunk of the season. Yeah, but he's got to play during the games, and he wasn't playing nearly as much.
He still finished top right.
Who cares?
Top tight end of the league.
So
You're just trying to play the contrarian.
No, I'm really not.
I agree with Kdawg.
No, I'm not. And I think Joe Burrow has a lot to prove. I think in terms of like just pure passing stats.
I think Mahomes has nothing to prove.
I think Burrow has a lot to prove, meaning he's going to ball out. Whereas Mahomes is just going to hand the ball off to Pacheco because he's their best offensive weapon right now.
Yeah, that's what he did last year, didn't he?
I mean, kind of, yeah. But Pacheco got like 25 attempts per game. I think if you look at pure touchdowns, passing yards, and interceptions, Joe Burrow is going to be better than Mahomes in all three.
You're projecting. You're not looking in the past or anything.
I mean, it's a combination.
Okay.
But I think this year he will be better than all.
How did he finish this in 2023? How did Joe Burrow do?
He was hurt half the
What was he
season.
on pace for? Maybe that might help.
I don't know.
I mean, Mahomes did have a down year statistically, but like a down year.
I know. So like, what improved?
A down year for him is like a great year.
Look,
for
Rashee Rice
else.
is going to be gone maximum 3 games.
No, it's going to be more than that.
No. Hollywood Brown will be back 4 to 6 weeks from today. It's not like it's some
It's like week
ending.
4.
Okay. Xavier Worthy, unknown, but it looks like he's been doing pretty well in training camp at least. Can't obviously put a lot into that. Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce. Pacheco.
So the case, like the only way I see Mahomes winning, like
Mahomes.
Mahomes winning an MVP this year, is like he's gonna have like a above average season because that's always Mahomes, and then the Chiefs defense is still gonna be great this year, and then it's gonna be the same damn thing like last year where they just give the MVP to the best, the QB on the best team, which probably is the Chiefs this year. That's my case.
Rankings, I guess.
That's my case. And then number 1, the golden boy, Patrick Mahomes. I have him at 3. What? Everyone else has him at 1.
Who do you have at 2?
Josh Allen.
What? Why?
You can't do that.
I can. I did. It's locked in,
what
baby.
Is a lot of, we just talked about how Josh Allen has no.
He's got about the same. I think he's got
no accolades.
He loses to Mahomes every time he plays.
Why are you talking accolades?
He's the only
I'm talking about stats.
active quarterback that has more than 1 Super Bowl or 2
Mahomes
Super
is
Bowls.
just like far and away.
This is my projection of this year of how I think everyone's going to finish.
That's crazy.
All right.
Do you want to suck off the golden boy anymore?
I mean, I don't like talking about him that much either. So, to be honest,
Okay.
But
All right, now I mean, he's
when a
gonna be
guy
great.
has 3 Super Bowls, you can't
But-
just not put him at 1. Especially when he's in his prime. This isn't like we're talking about Brady near the end of his prime. Or past his prime.
Guess we'll have to see.
We will see.
This is his prime. So, yes. It's number 1. You gave him number 1 last year. Why?
And
You knew what weapons he had going into the season?
regret doing it.
Okay.
Even though he won a Super Bowl. All right. Kdawg's throwing things. That means it's time to go. Any remaining words on your guys' quarterback picks outside of the top 2?
Is there
top
anyone
3?
that you guys are upset that did not crack this top 15?
I did have a couple. Geno and Baker.
Okay.
I had them at 13 and 14.
Those are my 20 and 21.
Bro, I had Baker at 24.
Coop, you got anything?
No, they were all actually... all my top 15 were, I think, in there.
My only comment, you guys are sleeping on Caleb Williams.
I will update it when I see it.
Coop did get his whole... Yeah, you got your whole top 15 in.
Mm-hmm.
Did we put like 2 times weighting on Coop's picks or something?
I guess we do.
No, it just means his takes were pretty damn
I
cold.
think I won $15.
It was cold. All right. Thanks for tuning in. That was a fun one. I enjoyed doing that. Our next episode, definitely want to check that out. Doing the same damn thing, except it's tight ends this time.
Woo! You know how much I love a tight end, baby.
And if you thought these rankings were spicy, just wait until you see what's in the next one.
You might hear names you've never even heard before.
Thanks for tuning in to Shmokin Hot Takes. Make sure to like and follow on Spotify, YouTube, and join our pick'ems.
Pick 'em.
Smoke 'em.
Smoking.
Shmokin'.